What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bass Brothers Fishing DMV. This is part 2 to the front deck framing of my John boat conversion. If you've missed any of my previous videos on this conversion, be sure to hit the link in the video description below. As you can imagine, guys, taking on a conversion like this takes a lot of research. I probably watched 1,000 hours worth of videos. Want to give a special shout out to a few YouTube channels that was a big influence to me. Shout out to Michael Lopez and the whole TB Nation. Also want to shout out to Anthony Jones and Fire and Fishing. Also want to give a shout out to SMD Fishing, SB Fishing. He's the one who actually turned me on to this boat, just watching his videos. All these guys and many more out there have been influential to me. Just want to say shout out to you guys. I will leave links to all those channels in the description below to give back to all the channels who helped me out. For this video, guys, it took several days, as a matter of fact, weeks. I probably think over 50 hours of footage of filming, of working on the boat. So I'll time lapse this video so you guys don't have to sit through a 50-hour video, but yet get to see all the steps I took to finish the front deck of this boat. Also, guys, stick around to the end of this video because near the end of this video, I will go over everything I did and the materials I used to get this job done. All right, enough of me talking, guys. Let's get into it right now. There you go. Pop it right off. Hopefully you guys can see this. I learned a big lesson. The lesson is, if you use this drill right here, this is an angle grinder, 4.5 inch. You see a lot of guys using this to do their bills. It gives off a lot of aluminum dust, which is actually toxic to your lungs to breathe in. And I didn't know that, so you definitely have to wear a good respirator if you use this, but it's probably best not to. Avoid it if you can. The best thing to do is use a circular saw or a jigsaw. I went and picked up this jigsaw right here, and as you guys could just see, it cut through this aluminum like butter. Look at that straight line. I never got a straight line like this with using the angle grinder, so I'm using this only as last resort. Again, guys, I definitely wanted to let you guys know that because out of all the videos I watched, I never heard someone give that advice about the dust from the aluminum from grinding it. Using that grinder, if you breathe that in, it's toxic to your body. This jigsaw right here I got from Home Depot. It's the Ryobi, I think it's the 524. So guys, just gonna give a quick overview of where I am right now. Actually been working on this for about 4 hours or so. Things are coming along. Got all my subflooring in. I've got this side done for this hatch. This is gonna be my biggest hatch right here. It was a little tricky getting the crossbars up here on each end of the hatch. What I did, and you guys might not be able to see this good, was I notched it out right here and right there. See if you guys can see that. So I notched it out so this will be completely flush. So a key tip, which I didn't really think about, of course, not knowing how to do this full project. If you do your supports for your main hatch bars or the deck bars, make sure you put the rivets low enough that if you do end up putting some type of crossbar here, you have space to rivet up top. I kind of got lucky, but I have one rivet that's like wedged right under here. Had I known, I would have put the rivet down here. That way this would be completely flush, but it's working out pretty good. Live and learn. This one has 4 rivets down here. You can see I almost cleared that one rivet over here in this corner. This came out pretty good. It's completely flush, and I needed ends to the hatches so that when I cut the hatch out, it has something to rest on, and also for the strut. I think I'll put the strut on this side. At least that's the plan for right now. So right now I'm just fitting out this piece right here. I'm gonna notch it out just like I did for this side. Don't really need one for over there, but I'll probably do it anyway. I mean, it can't hurt to do it because that's gonna be a rod locker, so I really don't need, there won't be a hatch over there. So I'm not gonna put a piece up front, but I'll probably put a piece back here. So right now I'm just notching out these 2 sides. Actually, I'm notching out just this side. Sorry about the wind. This side doesn't need notching out because the angle, the aluminum is facing that way. Give it a 1/16 here also. Oh yeah. That's gonna work out pretty good. Oh, wow. 3/16 aluminum is absolutely wonderful to work with. It's soft, but yet it's still strong. And you don't need a grinder, you don't need a cutter, electric cutter. All right. All right guys, I just realized that I need to go ahead and screw this post down into the rib of the boat. I was trying to avoid doing this. Sorry about the wind, but this will be where one of the hatches are. The crossbar goes across. I need this support beam to be more stable and it can't sway left or right, especially because the hatch will be opening against this. Oh my gosh, my stuff is blowing all over the place. All right guys, we're gonna secure this and that. Try to secure this beam also, and then get in the garage so we can finish. Looks like a storm is coming through. All right guys, got the boat back in the garage. I am pretty much done with the main part of the front deck. Came out pretty good, pretty satisfied with it. Right now we're gonna move to the final part of the deck, which will be the bench seat. Gonna measure this up, try to figure out what the height needs to be, how I'm gonna create the hatch here, and the measurements for that side. We're gonna do those measurements right now. I'm hoping today I can finish this part and at least get all of this done, so I'll truly be done with the front deck by the end of this video. Changed over to Harbor Freight rivets, ran out of my Home Depot ones, and the Harbor Freight ones are a lot harder to work with. They're not really popping out properly. I gotta get some more from Home Depot, guys, but we're gonna work with what we got, keep this thing going. Couldn't take it any longer, guys. Switched over to some long rivets. These are the only rivets I have left from Home Depot. They take a little more pumping of the rivet gun, but in the long run, these will hold up better than the Harbor Freight ones. So I'm just making the brackets right now to secure this framing to the bench. That's what I just did. Basically doing that for each post. I already did it on the other side and it's very solid. So as you can see, guys, on this side, I went ahead and just made the frame. Next, I'll attach the post, get it locked down on here, secure it down on the bench. The other side, I did it piece by piece riveted each side to the bench, kind of put it together on the bench. This time I put it together as a standalone unit, and I'll attach it to the bench now.
One week later.
All right guys, got her all cleaned up and she is looking pretty good. So to do this framing, it took several days, a lot of hours, especially for me, someone who's never done it before. I really had to take my time and think it through and make sure that I could minimize as many mistakes as possible. And I think I did a pretty good job. So here's what we got. Of course, this is going to be a rod locker, like I said. That's why you still see foaming here, because rod tubes will pretty much consume this whole area, so I won't be able to see that. I'm not really concerned about the cosmetics of this side as much as that side. So right here we'll have 1 hatch, 2 hatch, 3 hatches. I was able to finish the framing here, so hatch doors will open this way, and same for here. I'm actually going to use this to store a couple Plano boxes, at least 1 on each side. I'll be able to just slide it right in underneath on both sides. This will be, of course, bait storage as well, and whatever else I need it for. So the base of this framing is 1/8 angled aluminum, which I use for the main framing. What I mean by that are the main supports are 1/8 inch. That's these 4 bars, actually 5 bars going across. And I supported the main bars with 1/16 angled aluminum struts. And I did quite a bit where I felt it was important to have, especially in the middle of the boat. I didn't do any here because the distance between here and here, I don't know, that's about 10 inches, 8 or 10 inches. And I felt like the majority of the weight will be covered by this front deck. Then I secured each strut with a little piece of angled aluminum as well. I think these are all 1/16 ounce pieces. Actually, this is 1/8, looking at the thickness for the middle here. So this thing is like absolutely rock solid. Hopefully I didn't overdo it. I tried to have a good balance between solid structure and weight control. All in all, this is a pretty light build. I may also put a wall here as well. I'll figure that out later after I get the rod tubes in. I may put a sheet of aluminum right here. So I have 2 different types of aluminum sheeting for this front area. This is a real thin aluminum from Home Depot. It's like 0.019, I believe. Very thin, very flexible. I went with that one because I'm not really concerned about this area, again, with it being the rod locker. And 2, I wanted it to be very lightweight because the plan is to put the trolling motor on this side and the rod locker on the same side. I was trying to just eliminate a little bit of weight on this side wherever I could, so I went with a really thin piece of aluminum here. The sheeting for the rest of the front hatch areas are 0.90, I believe. So this is pretty flexible as well, but it's thick enough to last a long time. You might notice that I do have some screws in here. And when I originally started this, I figured use screws in case I need to remove it at some point and check the foam or check if there's mold or check anything under the boat if there are leaks. But throughout the build, I just ended up riveting some of the other areas. But that's why you'll see screws throughout the main floor area, securing the aluminum sheet. So all of these joints, you'll see there's 3 or 4 rivets everywhere. I kind of just felt it out how I wanted it to be. This one has 2 rivets there. I'm really satisfied with how this has turned out. So just coming over to the large hatch area, you'll also notice that I have lines drawn on here, and that's to mark the ribs of the boat to make sure that you don't bore the bottom and put a hole in the bottom of your boat. That would not be nice, wouldn't be fun at all. So you see I have lines all throughout, even the ribs on the side here, to make sure that I can secure the panel in to an actual rib of the boat. And if you missed part 1 of the John Boat framing front deck process, I'll leave a link up top right now to that so you can check out how the project started and what I did first. So this is a part I just completed, which was framing above the bench seat. The idea is to have the deck front deck, go all the way from the very front of the boat all the way to the middle seat. So in order to do that, I framed the main area here first and then did some framing for the bench. So last piece of the framing project will be to frame out the hatch. Once I get that done, I'll move on to foaming and get started on the rod locker, which I'm pretty excited about doing. Ooh, that was a lot of work, guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, once again, full playlist in the description below. On the next video, guys, I'll show you the complete build out of the rod locker. Matter of fact, I'll show you a little sneak peek right now. It's coming out really good. And what I really like about this is that you do not have to cut out the middle seat in order to do this rod locker. So make sure you stick around and check out that video. That one, I'm sure, will help a lot of people, save you some time and energy. As always, guys, thanks for the view. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap that notification bell so you see all our uploads. We got a lot more coming your way, guys. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next video.